Our Dallas Cowboys insider, Mickey Spagnola, brought to you by Ford and your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. How are you doing?
We're good. Now, Mickey, we have to ask you one thing. And I don't know if we've ever been this direct about it. Are you familiar with our segment at 1:30 on Fridays called Masterpiece of the Week, when we take the things that people have said frequently out of context and replay them?
I had somebody tip me off on that.
So
we knew it.
Usually 1:30 on Friday, I'm hard at work.
You have become quite the folk hero of that segment, because just the sports terminology has been corrupted by
our 15-year-old brains.
Yeah. And not just us, by other people in the language lexicon, where so many things have been corrupted for meaning what they didn't used to mean. You know what I'm saying?
And I was told about it, and he said, I think at times they think you're playing games and doing it on purpose. And I said, I'm not that smart.
So
I was convinced a couple years ago. I was like, I think he knows, and he wants to win. He's competitive. I was like, Mickey's a competitive guy. He gets his bike, and he rides out in Oxnard all the time.
That is true. So for the longest time, I was like, there's no way. And then so many people texted it in, and now you bring them information, but they're also like, did you hear that? He did that on purpose. He did that on purpose. And so it has become like a very amusing part of all of that, is how many people have jumped in on no, I know Fun Mickey.
They're listening for that.
He's doing some stuff.
So it's a word or so that I throw out that we're not expecting.
And honestly, each Masterpiece of the Week will start with your entry. Generally, I feel like they're the leadoff batter for Masterpiece of the Week.
I can live in infamy with something, right?
People love it. It is a super positive for sure. Now, we have talked about this quite a bit. What's the practice situation for people who are not familiar, practice or lack thereof situation, when you have the Sunday to Thursday turnaround? I know they have practices, but how much actual physicality is happening in the week leading into the Thanksgiving game?
We could take part in the practices.
Heck yeah.
Let's go, DJ.
I've seen Kevin kick a field goal. I don't know if we want him to do that.
That's
basically on Monday, it's a walkthrough. Yesterday, it was they had helmets on for the first part of practice, and then they took them off. Right.
Really, that's too much.
Today will be another walkthrough.
Okay.
So basically, it's mental preparation. They try to keep the guys off their feet as much as possible, knowing it's a short turnaround, especially since the NFL gifted them a Monday night game before they played Sunday, Thursday.
Thanks a lot. As if that wasn't compacted enough.
Right, I think Shottenheimer termed it yesterday as we were blessed with a Monday night game. So, they keep them off their feet. And basically, I remember Jimmy Johnson's philosophy on that quick turnaround Sunday to Thursday was always put everything you can into winning the Sunday game and then hope your talent gets you through Thursday.
Okay.
Because you're not going to, and the mental preparation, because you're not physically, you're still trying to recover. Because if you think about it, if it was a normal week, you don't practice till Wednesday after a Sunday game. Thursday's probably the big practice, and then you taper off Friday, walk through on Saturday. And they used to, by the way, the walkthrough before the game, they used to go on a charter flight. Say they were going to Philadelphia.
Right.
They would leave on Saturday. They would go straight from the flight to the stadium and do a walkthrough in the stadium.
Wow.
Right? So wherever they were going to get everybody used to the atmosphere and, just look around and do their walkthrough. I remember one year they showed up, and I think it was Philadelphia, and the gates were all locked. Shocking, right?
Of course it was Philadelphia.
Yeah, just an accident.
And the Philly fans are out there throwing eggs and rocks at you.
So they ended up doing the walkthrough in a parking lot, right?
That's crazy.
And then
Jason
sometimes
Garrett used to say
when they if it was bad weather, they do it in a ballroom at the hotel, right? Now they do it, and it changed 20-some years ago. Whatever.
Right.
They do it at wherever their practice facility is before they leave to go to the charter flight. So, yeah.
Do you then scheme to talent? Because it doesn't feel like you can do a whole new game plan.
They have the game plans already set. They'll do it a week ahead of time.
Okay.
They'll work extra. Fortunately for them this time, the bye was kind of close to it.
Yeah.
So the coaching staff can do all that work and then just present it to the players. Because somebody asked Dak, did you already start preparing for the Thursday game, maybe the Saturday before your Sunday game against the Eagles? He goes, no. He goes, I got in my mind what we're doing for Sunday. I don't want to get confused with stuff down the road. So, yeah, it's more of a mental preparation and getting guys' bodies right.
So with that in mind, do you think from a logistical perspective, the Cowboys would much prefer, obviously, the Sunday Thanksgiving turnaround and then going back to Thursday where you get the mini bye right after that, as opposed to, obviously, now they've been going Thursday.
Playing again?
Yeah, Thursday.
Yeah, and you can think about it. A couple of years ago when they had the Sunday game, it was an away game, right? Okay, that's bad enough. Then it was an away game on the East Coast, which means then it was an away game at night on the East Coast. So by the time you get back, you've already forfeited Monday.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're not getting home to 3 or 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then Tuesday, okay, let's go. Wednesday, well, we got to taper off. And so, yeah, I've always said, and I think I've told you guys this before, especially this year, when the schedule came out with the 6 straight games starting with the Eagles against teams that had played in the playoffs last year, that the computer was giggling, right? We got you.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
So now it's only 5 straight because the Commanders have a losing record.
Can I ask one more about like the logistics and health of everybody? I know there were positive signs, like in terms of Pickens went from, would not have participated to limited, but like, how are we feeling about the health of the team and the quick turnaround? Because, and I know we'll probably learn a lot today, but you Pickens and Turpin offensively, Carson, Clowney, Fowler, Hooker, Osa, Donovan, Wilson defensively. I know that's not to say they're all going to miss the game, but how are you feeling health-wise going into tomorrow?
I think the guys you just mentioned, if I remember correctly, they were all limited.
Yes, all of them. Yes,
so,
correct.
Pickens did what everybody else did. Turpin did what everybody else did. The rest of the guys, I think it was just to get them off their feet. I think the only guy that's going to miss the game is Tyler Guyton. Okay. He's got a high ankle sprain, and he hasn't done anything all week.
Okay.
So chances are he's not going to make it back, which means Nate Thomas probably going to start. Well, will start. At left tackle, which is, to me, not a bad thing.
I think Mickey's been on that most of the year. So
we're in lockstep with you on that.
All with him on
now
that
we'll find out.
Of course, yeah.
But this will be at least he started a game already.
Yeah.
So, which was his first start since 2023 when he was at Louisiana.
Wow.
Because he missed all last year on IR, and even his last year at Louisiana. He played through a knee injury that he didn't realize was as bad as it was, that needed postseason scope surgery. And so, he I don't think he got invited to the combine, and he couldn't do any workouts for anybody because of the knee surgery he had.
Man,
so it worked out for us.
So did that kind of
I guess
you to go to the 7th round? He goes, well, I don't know. He said, I had a pretty good career there until I had to play through that. So a little bit of toughness from him.
Interesting. Yesterday we were on remote, and during the Shottenheimer presser, I didn't really get to listen because we had a lot of Tolos talking to us. Has Shotty talked much about Kansas City and his relationship with them? And is he a little? This has got to be kind of a nostalgic year for him.
Yeah, it is.
All over.
It came up in the press conference, and he was talking about how I think when The Cowboys had last played Kansas City around this Thanksgiving. It was 95. And he said he was busy in college, and they were getting ready to play. So he's at Florida. I forgot who they said they were playing. And so it would have been ball coach was the head coach.
Spurrier,
yeah.
Right? And he said Spurrier had a dinner for the players before the game, because I think it was in that Thanksgiving area or time. And he said, yeah, and he goes, and I think, yeah, Coach, he knew I wasn't going to play, so I got to drink a beer at the dinner, right? So, yeah. But yeah, so yeah, I think, and it would have been Thanksgiving. But he would refer to his time when his dad was the head coach of the Chiefs, and his time around it, and what he learned from other quarterbacks that they had going through. McCarthy was there too with them.
Yeah.
Wow. He kind of knew Shotty before Shotty became Shotty, right?
Yeah.
And by the way, I brought you guys some gifts.
I was wondering what those were.
So either give them away,
Okay.
or if somebody wants to pay for them, it is the 2025 Dallas Cowboy Cheerleader Yearbook.
Oh,
How about that?
Right.
Corey, let us know what your donation will be
right.
for
Yeah,
these.
we'll find a
DJ, I'm
donation.
gonna let you borrow one. He says, that's really awesome. Yeah,
Wow.
That's very nice.
Thank
you
you,
very
man.
So
much.
see what you can do with it, and this will tell you how well this sold. In 1997, myself and three guys that covered at the time the Redskins, we wrote a book, the 20 greatest plays in Cowboy Redskins history up until then, right? And it sold so well. How many years later is this? 38?
Yeah.
I still have a copy. So I brought it to you guys.
Oh,
right?
yes.
And-
Sorry, cheerleaders. I'm most excited about that.
So you can do what you want with it.
That's
if
so
somebody
cool.
wants to pay
Carter's
you
like,
for
hey, I
it,
want to see that real quick.
Yeah. Would you
I'll
sign
it
Yeah.
for them, absolutely, while I'm here. And I know one of the chapters is the 74 game when Staubach got hurt, and they had to bring in the backup quarterback that no one ever heard of, and he ends up throwing 2 touchdown passes. And so it's one of the chapters here. And
That's
I
so
remember
cool.
being in Washington, D.C., it was around Thanksgiving. We were at a place, and some guy started talking with us, and he told us he was this great growing up Redskins fan, right? And he goes, and to this day, and this probably would have been early 2000s maybe, he said, to this day, I still get sick at Thanksgiving because of that Clint Longley came in and ruined my Thanksgiving dinner.
Okay.
I'm glad it happened.
So I'm glad that you said that, because, I think we all understand, or people who grow up in the Metroplex understand, they've watched the Cowboys. It's been part of their holiday. But for you, football takes up, I'm assuming, pretty much your entire Thanksgiving day. Can you tell us how entrenched Dallas Cowboys football is with your Thanksgiving?
Well, gosh, I told this story. I hope I didn't tell it to you guys yesterday. Growing up, we have a big Thanksgiving family get-together, right? You're Italian.
Yeah.
Everybody shows up. And so we would be at my aunt's house. She would cook the turkey. Everybody traded off holidays, right?
Yes, we do that too. Yeah.
Okay. And so, they would always serve dinner, and it'd be in the middle of the afternoon or early, whatever. And I was like, okay, there's football games on. Can I get I'm done eating. Am I excused?
It's true.
So I got to go upstairs to where the TV was. And back then, remember, We only had one TV in each house.
Oh, yeah, that's
right?
true.
There wasn't multiple.
Yeah.
There certainly wasn't one down in the basement.
Flip
where
the circle dial.
everybody was.
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah, okay, Mickey can go up and, he's got to watch football. So I go up and watch. Next thing I know, one by one, my uncles start coming up there, right? And I'm going, how'd you guys get away? And they said, oh, we just told them, we're going to go keep Mickey company, right? Well, they came up and fell asleep.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
yeah. Well, by the way, Corey, you might need to flip through that book quickly.
Okay.
Somebody just offered us $250 for that book.
This
so,
thing's
No
amazing.
way.
Yeah.
And that
So,
means that,
not us, the
that means
charity.
Mickey has to sign it
I
right
got
now.
it.
There
Yeah.
we
And I
go.
will sign it for whoever ends up getting it. But so we decided, or the guys in Washington decided that this would be a cool thing to kind of explain the rivalry.
Yeah.
And, back in the day there, it was Cowboy Week.
Yes.
And the whole place would go nuts, right? Getting ready for the Cowboy game.
I still know people like that.
And in Dallas, it wasn't, it's Redskin Week. But there was some paranoia because they didn't trust Coach Allen because he was always going to be spying on you. So
yeah.
when they had the practice facility over at Forest and Abrams,
Oh, man.
it was one field, right? Just
Yeah.
one field. The facility was it looked like a corrugated transmission repair shop, right? Because the first time I went there, they told me, okay, this is where it's at. Now, you're going to drive. It doesn't have an address on it. There's no, sign that says Dallas Cowboys. But you're going to see fancy cars, and as you're just about to drive past it, that's it.
It's like a hole in the wall restaurant. Yeah.
And it's like, and look for the Pizza Inn or whatever
Yes.
pizza place.
That's how I get directions.
That's how I get
Corey
directions,
knows that.
too.
And
Yeah.
so it's one field, an outdoor, somewhat weightlifting area, and behind it, I want to say it was a Days Inn.
Wow.
Well, when they were playing the Redskins, they were paranoid that George Allen was going to spy. So they bought out all the rooms on the second floor.
Amazing.
Right? Tex Schramm didn't want any hijinks going on. To make sure no one was buying rooms to spy on them in practice.
So
Go to
whenever
the
you
pizza place instead.
Yeah. So whenever you heard all the Belichick stuff, you're like, oh, that's cute. Now, this ain't new, bro.
No, it was going on way back there. And Everson Walls, who does the podcast with us on DallasCowboys.com,
And should be
he
in the
grew
Hall of
up
Fame.
kind of in that area,
Yeah.
right? And he would tell the stories how they'd all ride their bikes to that area, and they would lift themselves up on the fence and kind of get their chins on the top of the fence to be able to watch practice. Yeah.
Well, Mickey, two more quick things. Another person texted in, a different person than the original offer, and said, hey, Corey, I'm going to need you to close my book because I'm coming to get it. And then also from the 903, man, I just love Mickey and everything that he does for the show. Happy Thanksgiving, sir. I know you don't always get access to those
I appreciate
texts.
that. And one of the neat things in the book was we were able to not only go back and research and look stuff up, players were willing to do interviews for us.
That's cool.
To remember
Awesome.
back. And the funny thing is most of them remembered like the good things.
Yeah.
And the bad things, it was a foggy, I don't know if I quite, it was pretty funny.
Yeah. Success has many parents, but
Right.
failure is an orphan.
And the fun thing in the book, the opening chapter, I got to do it and do the research, was coming up with why this rivalry began, right?
Okay.
How did it start?
Yeah.
Well, and you guys might have heard the story, but back in the day, George Preston Marshall, who was the owner of the Redskins at the time, his wife's favorite song was the song they played before every game, Hail to the Redskins.
Yeah.
Right? Well, when the Cowboys were petitioning to get the franchise, they needed his vote to be able to get enough votes to from the NFL owners to get the franchise. So Clint Murkison knew that he didn't want the Cowboys to get a franchise in 60. He wanted it in 61. So Clint Murkison found out where the song was stored or whatever.
Shut up.
And he went and bought the rights to it.
Genius.
Right? He bought
that
the
is
rights
smart.
to it.
That is
Leverage.
smart.
I love it.
And so when he talked to him about if you're going to have the vote and everything, he goes, well, if you don't vote, you're not going to be able to play your song. What do you mean? Well, I just bought the rights to the song.
That level of pettiness is what I appreciate.
That's how it started, right? And then it just went on and on and on. And
I've never heard that story before.
And there was a lot of hijinks going on because all of a sudden when Lyndon Johnson became the vice president, and then the president, all these people from Texas came to Washington, D.C. to work in his administration. So it was Cowboy fans. Well, they had a bunch of guys that were, what do you call the people that help promote an agenda or something?
Oh, lobbyists.
Lobbyists.
Yeah.
So they're all in Dallas, in D.C., and they decided they were going to punk the Redskins before Christmas because they would have a big deal where they had Santa on some sort of wagon and these dogs would come out and pull it. And so the night before, they actually did this, and they were called the Chicken Club. They went and they snuck into RFK and they sprinkled like chicken feed all over the field. And then they actually snuck in chickens, and they hid them under the tarp, right? And they were going to let the chickens out so they would go after the feed and scare the dogs and maybe tip over Santa Claus, right? They actually got the chickens in the stadium, and at some point before the game, some guards walking around and the chickens are clucking, right? And it's like, what the F?
This is the most 1960s prank.
Yeah, it really is. Oh my gosh!
And they got busted, right?
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
okay,
The chickens gave them away.
Yeah.
man.
Well, the next year they were at their hotel, and payback's hell, right? And so they had a kind of a room, big room, where they would have all the people and the guests and everything, reception room. And the Redskin people snuck an ostrich into the closet. Right?
That does not feel
fit in the
easy to
closet?
do.
And they
Closeted
it was probably
ostrich.
their people had the hotel, right? And they opened the door, and all of a sudden this
That's terrifying.
Hey,
That's
can you imagine
terrifying.
telling that story? That person would think you're insane. You're like, yep, we got a situation down here.
Got an
Open up the
ostrich
closet, and an
running
ostrich came out, and they're like, all right, Harry, you've been
And
drinking.
I did all this story to make sure I got it right, because Tex Schramm was the one who, kind of told it to me. And then after it came out, Joe Bailey, who was the Cowboys vice president, his dad was one of the orthopedic surgeons for the team.
Yeah.
So he was with them as a kid, right? Would go to training camp, everything. And I was telling him the story, and he goes, well, why didn't you call me? I go, what do you mean? He goes, I was a kid back then, like 12 years old, and I was part of the group that snuck the chickens into the stadium.
That's phenomenal. That is phenomenal.
So anyway, that's the opening chapter.
That's just the opening chapter,
Just
dude.
the beginning.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the
That
other
book's
two
gotta go.
people that want it, you're going to have a bidding war because I am going to want in on that as well. Mickey, thank you so much for coming out, hanging out with us. We love having you on the show.
Well, I think what you guys are doing is great.
Thank you.
Listening to all the things coming in, and everybody's got Thanksgiving Day stories, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I've been doing this since '84, and I think I missed one.
Wow.
It was '88. I was doing the Olympics, and they said,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You can have the
I remember you told us that because I thought, I was like, that's such a flex. He was like, yeah, I can't be there. I'm doing the Olympics. I'll catch you around.
Maybe next time.
I'm in Korea. Sorry, whatever.
Or just got back. One
Yeah,
of the two.
yeah. Man.
So anyway, well, I'm glad to join you guys. I was thinking, I haven't seen those guys since
Training camp, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
and talk to them every day.
Yeah, it is a weird dynamic. Yeah, for sure. All right, thank you very much.
Sure thing.
Good sir, Mickey
Carry
Spagnola.
on. You guys are doing great.
DallasCowboys.com, and now we have Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders magazines and his book, which it sounds like we've already got a competition breaking out for
that was awesome.
that.